Welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. I haven't played this game too much and I haven't played it for a while, but I found this article and I found it incredibly interesting, to say the least. Some of the things the developers are doing could be quite risky to implement into the game. So this is about the Forza Enforcement Guidelines. This is about banning players in Forza Horizon 5 and across their other games as well. If you are interested in reading the whole thing, because I will just be going over key points, there will be a link to this in the description. So their mission statement is to preserve and promote a safe, secure, inclusive and enjoyable experience for all Forza community members and provide offenders a chance to change their behaviour following enforcement action. We put this into practice with the following goals: to create and maintain an enforcement policy specific to Forza titles, Forza Discord, Forza forums and Forza streams. To provide a comprehensive understanding of the role enforcement plays in Forza titles and the other stuff, and how this differs from the Microsoft Services Agreement. Also to establish a structured and reliable enforcement procedure to improve community satisfaction, retention and sentiment. To lead the industry in game-specific enforcement strategies. To cultivate a safe, secure, inclusive and enjoyable environment for players of all ages. And to protect player privacy and the integrity of their personal information. They have a zero-tolerance policy for hate speech, violence acts, obscene imagery and or cheating. Anything of this nature will result in a permanent suspension. And then please note that further behaviour of this type in other Forza titles, social channels or streams will result in more stringent enforcement action, up to and including further permanent suspension of accounts and or associated PCs and consoles, both in-game and on Xbox Live. So if you carry on doing the things that they are temporarily banning you for, you could be permanently banned, but not just across one game, across your entire device. So the big four. They look at four broad categories of enforcement action, and it applies to all of the above, being the Forza titles, Discord, forums and streams. So Xbox Live platform content. This is account level content such as gamertag, gamerpick, profile, Xbox clubs, Xbox Live messaging and party voice chat. Unsportsmanlike conduct. This pertains mainly intentional race disruption such as wrecking, ramming, spearing and shoving. UGC is user-generated content. This includes streaming, social media posts, layer groups, liveries, photos, and content on external video sites. And then cheating, exploitation, solicitation, phishing, and impersonation. These violations are by far the most serious and can lead to a permanent suspension without a warning. The thing I said could be a little bit risky is the unsportsmanlike conduct. They state that it pertains mainly intentional race disruption such as wrecking, ramming, spearing, and shoving. They would have to heavily monitor everyone that's playing the game, because there will be some people out there that have a low skill level. There will be children playing this game that don't know how to hold a controller properly. You can't guarantee that everyone playing this has the mindset to race normally, have a legal race. Some people will not be able to control the car they're driving. They might have just installed a new tune and they're finding it a little bit tough to get used to it. That unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be a big risk of banning players because of it. I totally understand the trolls and the people that do that stuff purposely. They simply load up the game to sit there for 6 hours and just annoy other players because they find it funny. But at the same time, you have to be careful with something like that because it's not a guarantee that people are doing it on purpose. So for the Xbox Live platform content, platform level content is governed by the Xbox safety team. While Forza suspensions will only impact that game title, platform level enforcement will impact your entire Xbox Live account. So that's your whole account. Please visit Xbox Live device bans to learn more about platform-wide conduct expectations. To see the enforcement history of your account, please check the Xbox enforcement page. Unsportsmanlike conduct. This category covers in-game conduct, especially in races. Going out of your way to intentionally cause wrecking in multiplayer races goes against the spirit of the game and can result in enforcement action. While the occasional drift tap or nudge is unavoidable, reckless or malicious driving can warrant enforcement action. This is enforced much more strictly in the Forza Motorsport series, but is enforceable in any Forza title. But again, they have to be incredibly careful with that. They could go round banning the wrong people. In terms of UGC, the user-generated content, It includes, but is not limited to, profanity or other offensive terms or gestures. It includes phrases such as ones I'm not pointing out or reading, and other abbreviations. Harassment, abuse or bullying of other players. Nudity or other sexual content, including in-game sexual content. Harm or violence against people or animals, or promotion of self-harm, including but not limited to imagery of firearms. Cheating or promoting the use of unauthorized game modifications. Use of illegal drugs or controlled substances. Other illegal activities. Pornographic website logos or similar, so no putting Pornhub on the side of your cars. Personal information such as phone numbers or personal addresses, so no promoting your window company. Vans with free candy or other similar free ... wording. Certain notorious individuals, organisations or events. And then specific iconography, including but not limited to. Then there's a hyperlink that will take you to something different to point out all that stuff. So there's a lot within the user-generated content, but I believe all of that is fair enough. You're not going to go put some, like, anime characters with their tits out and stuff on the side of your cars. That's not what you do. Have some cool looking anime stuff. Feel free to do whatever with that, but if you're starting to get like sexual nudity, all that sort of shit, then don't bother putting it on a car in a racing game. Modifications, cheating, exploitation, solicitation, etc. Selling or purchasing in-game content and accounts. So if you go to like the old FIFA cheap coin sites and stuff, some sites do sell game accounts. So they mod the game in some way to give you max level, infinite credits, all that sort of stuff, or like 100 million credits, whatever the cap is. They put all that stuff onto an account, they sell you the account. That is not allowed. Unauthorized modification. So save swapping to obtain unaccounted for, including but not limited to, credits, experience, cars that are not available, cars prior to their release date, and or wheel spins. It's a severe violation of the terms of use and will result in a permanent suspension of both the account and device. Exploitation. Since competition is best when it's fair, a level playing field is one of the most important requirements for gaming. When people cheat, use exploits or otherwise tamper with hardware or software to gain a competitive advantage, it ruins the experience for everyone. Because of this, cheating, tampering and the use of exploits is never acceptable in the Xbox community, like never. The thing is, I have several questions about exploitation, and the fact that if you are using something that's made and they've actually promoted on a trending tab for a race that has been made by the community, so like max skill points in 30 seconds, and you just go through, I've seen it loads and loads of times on YouTube watching videos, you just drive through all these different obstacles, you build up your skill points. Is that classed as an exploit? Because you're exploiting all the different assets you can put in a race, and you're doing it just purely to get skill points and get wheel spins, because the wheel spins will turn into money, and the money will be used to buy cars, which could potentially give you an advantage over other players in a competitive manner in an online race. I think when game developers talk about exploitation, they don't specify exactly what that means. They use these very vague terms that a lot of players don't understand, because if there's a glitch found in a game, it's up to the developers whether they choose whether that's a glitch or an exploit. And this has happened in games in the past, not just racing games. The Division 2, a lot of players got banned for using a damaged glitch that was put into the game by a lack of coding properly. It was the developer's fault. We used it as a glitch, they saw it as an exploit, they banned people and rolled back their accounts. So developers, publishers, all different gaming companies need to be exact with what counts. If you're using money cheats, are you allowed to? Like if you're using cheat engine, that's obviously completely different, but I mean they need to specify the level of what's acceptable and what's not. Because if they say, right, this person has sat there on an AFK race for the last 6 days or something, they've got 100 million credits, they're buying cars, and they're winning races in online racing, which is unfair because they've gained an advantage from a glitch. Like, they need to explain if money glitches and things are classed as exploitation. Are you just smart and you found a workaround, an easy way to get money, or is it an exploit? They need to start specifying exactly what this stuff means. It does say cheating, but not only that, this is a game that can be played solo or online. If you're doing all of these money farms and stuff, and you're just playing by yourself, you don't jump into any online content, is that allowed? Is it not? They need to be a lot clearer on what exploitation actually means, and what's going to put your account or your device at risk. Common suspension types: UGC, This type is issued when a player uploads inappropriate content to layer groups, blah 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 blah. So the impact, and we'll just go through the impact of each of them. This will be a permanent suspension, removing all player UGC from the community hub. Temporary suspensions will only remove the item that was in violation. This item will still be on your local save, so you will need to delete it once your ban has lifted. Matchmaking. The player will not be allowed to compete in online matchmaking for the duration of the ban. Scoreboards. Player scores or lap times will not appear on public leaderboards. Auction house. Player will be banned from buying and selling items on the auction house for the duration of the ban. So the ban lengths. Turn 10 Studios generally follows a 3-strike system. Strike 1 is 7 days, Strike 2 is 30 days, Strike 3 is permanent from specific features or all features. If you get Strike 1 and 2, they are just specific features. So if you get Strike 2 Auction House, you are banned from using the auction house for 30 days. There are specific exceptions to this rule. Obtaining unreleased cars will result in a 30-day ban at minimum, so it skips Strike 1. Repeated offences will result in a permanent suspension of both the account and device. Selling or purchasing in-game content or accounts, so it's including but not limited to credits, wheel spins, experience and or cars, and paying real-life money for that is a severe violation of the terms of use and will result in a permanent suspension of both the account and device. Unauthorized modification and or save swapping to obtain what we've already read out before. It's a severe violation, permanent suspension of both the account and device. And then they put underneath as a separate bullet point, this includes the Owens and McLaren in Forza Horizon 4. And it also says any form of hate speech, violent acts, obscene imagery and or racism. Any accounts trying to access said devices will also be removed from any online game features. In addition, some violations can result in a console ban. Should any account attempt to access any Forza titles via the banned device, it will become locked from all online content. So they are very, very strict with this stuff, and I hope they do enforce it. You shouldn't be buying game accounts because you don't want to sit there and put time into it. You've bought the game or you've downloaded the game through Game Pass or however you've obtained the game. You've done that to play the game, so just fucking play it. Don't go buying all these accounts and stuff. Then they have an FAQ. I'll just go through, and then the most important ones that I feel are the most important, I will actually read some of them out. So will I be banned just because I received complaints? No, it's a common misconception. Shouldn't I receive a warning before a suspension? The Code of Conduct clearly outlines the rules of Xbox Live and establishes what content and behaviour is not appropriate. So they don't necessarily have to give you a warning before they ban you. My roommate was playing when I got suspended, can it be lifted? Yeah, my dog ate my homework in school too. No, not at all. And that's me answering for them. That is the most stupid thing. Because I could just go, I could do some unauthorized modification, and I could mod the game and give myself max level, infinite credits, cars that aren't released, all this sort of stuff that's against the terms of use. And then I could say, oh, my 5-year-old son accidentally got hold of my controller. No. That is the biggest amount of bullshit I have ever heard. If you think your roommate or anyone is going to put your account at risk, don't let them play. Simple. I don't have any prior suspensions. Why is it longer than 7 days? Some types of UGC that can warrant a longer first suspension include use of racial or homophobic slurs, child endangerment imagery, graphic and explicit sexual imagery, and use of violent acts imagery, and all of that is text as well. I checked the Code of Conduct and what you banned me for isn't listed. When the players join Xbox Live, they agree to the services agreement. This document includes a code of conduct that establishes the general rules that should be followed. So basically, there will be something, there will be a reason behind your ban. Why was I banned when other players have inappropriate content and they aren't banned as well? That's because they can't catch every single person. They get reports, they look into accounts, and then they find out. Sometimes developers have to put in bots because there are lots and lots of people doing the stuff that they don't want done in the games. So what about Discord, Twitch and forums? The above rules apply to all of it. And then reporting Xbox Live, the safety team enforces platform-wide rules on Xbox Live. Reporting in-game, you can submit tickets and things like that. There are different ways you can report players that are doing dodgy stuff. But if you are using the report feature, don't abuse it, because I've seen that so many times in games as well. And Xbox messages. If you're sending anyone a message on Xbox, do not put a single swear word at all. Don't even say shit. Because if that person decides to turn around and be a dick, they report you to Xbox, you're going to get a comms ban or a communication ban, which will last like in between like I think 1 and 3 days or something. I've had a couple before because I've been having like general conversation with people. They've sworn in messages to me, I've replied with some swear words, and they've reported me for whatever reason, and I've had a comms ban. So don't abuse the report systems. Just if there is someone that's riding around with a dick at the side of their car, just report it. But that is the Forza Enforcement Guidelines. This has been a very, very long video, but I thought I'd go through it in quite a lot of depth because it is important. They are enforcing rules. Do not exploit, do not mod your game, do not buy accounts, do not be racist or have sexual images or anything like that in the game. And I really hope they do push down on this and actually enforce all of these rules. However, I hope they're careful at the same time so they're not wrongfully banning players that have either spent money on the game or got the game for free and put a lot of time into it, and they're just being banned for absolutely no reason. I'm not saying necessarily tell people why they've been banned, but make sure that you're 100% when you're banning players off your game and possibly off other titles because you've done a device ban. What we're going to do is wrap the video up there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.